the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Namibia to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you. We may be seated. I think that is a deputy speaker. Thank you, honorable members. The House is called to order. Honorable members, before we continue, let me recognize the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, who is also a former member of the National Council, a clever boy, Honorable Katamelo. Honorable Katamelo, welcome to the chamber and also your house. We're really respectful and we feel happy to be with you until you feel free to leave us. But if you feel to stay with us, please do so. But we are happy to receive you. Thank you very much. Honorable members, any petitions? I see none. Any reports of select and standing committees? I see none. Any reports of papers? I see none. Any notices of motions? I see the hand of Chief Whip, Honorable Shimi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable members. I hereby move a motion without notice that in accordance with Rule 31 of Standing Rules and Orders of the National Council, the proceedings of votes 40, 13, 14, 18, 23, and 24 of Appropriation Bill 6 of 2025 not be interrupted if still under consideration beyond 13 hours. So much.
Thank you. Will the honorable member please table your motion? Any notices of motions? Honorable Karondo, you see your hand.
Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, I here move a motion in terms of Rule 54 of the National Council Standing Rules and Orders that tomorrow, on Wednesday, the 21st of March 2025, I shall move the report of the National Council Standing Committee on Health, Social Welfare and Labor Affairs on its oversight visit to Arda, Comas, and Irongo on the effect of Hubbly Bubbly from the 19th to the 28th of August 2024. I so move.
Thank you, Honorable. Sign and table your motion. Any notices of motions? I see none. Thank you, honorable members. The secretary will read the first order of the day.
Introduction and motivation of the report of the National Council Standing Committee on Public Accounts and Economy on the regional oversight visit to Karas, Oshodonjupa, Zambezi, Kavango West, and Oshana regions on agro-processing development projects, which was conducted from the 13th to the 24th of January 2025.
Thank you, Secretary. Does Honorable Kazongominya move the report? Who seconds? Any objection? I see none. Can Honorable Kazongominya table your report, please? Honorable Kazongominya, you have now the floor to motivate your report.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chair and Honorable Members. Honorable Vice Chair and Honorable Members, the National Council Standing Committee on Public Accounts and Economy undertook a follow-up regional oversight visit to the agro-processing development projects in the Karas, Oshana, Zambezi, Kavango West, and Oshodonjupa regions from the 13th to the 24th of January 2025. The various projects we have visited are budgeted for under Vote 19 of the then Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, MIT, and implemented by the Namibia Industrial Development Agency, NITA, in the aforementioned regions. This follow-up visit of the regional oversight visits undertaken by the committee from the 9th to the 20th October 2023, the committee made several recommendations for implementation by MIT and NITA. This prompted follow-up monitoring visits to assess the extent to which MIT and NITA had implemented the committee's initial recommendations. In addition, the committee had the objective of evaluating the socio-economic impact of the various agro-processing development projects. The delegation of the committee was comprised of the following members of Parliament: Honorable Kazongominya, Honorable Chikulo, Vice Chairperson, Honorable Kaishungu, Member of the Committee, Honorable Dobbs, Member of the Committee, Honorable Kambrute, Member of the Committee, Honorable Shikongo, a Member of the Committee, and Honorable Garab, also a Member of the Committee. The staff members that accompanied the committee was Mrs. Amalia Ita, Ms. Helena Subasubani, Parliamentary Clerk, Emmanuel Cooper, Head Office accompanied the committee by then Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Vice Chairperson, and Honorable Members. Prior to the follow-up visit, the committee was briefed by the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade by then and Namibia Industrial Development Agency, NITA, on the progress made as well as on the attempts to implement the committee recommendation. During the follow-up visit on the projects in the Karas region, the committee observed vandalism and abandonment of projects due to non-payment of water and electricity by NITA. The committee learned that Naute irrigation project is run with a petty cash of 5,000 Namibian dollars per month, which is not sufficient for the basic necessities required to efficiently run operations at the farm. Furthermore, the committee observed that the Naute Cresta distillery, owned by a private tenant, still receives free raw materials, grapes and dates from the farm and use free water and electricity from the farm, of which NITA failed to offer an explanation as to what benefit is GRN or NITA receiving from this arrangement. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, in Oshodon-Juba region, the committee observed that there was no running water at the biomass project in Oshuarongo, Oshuarongo SME Park, and Omulunga SME Park in Grootfontein due to non-payment by NIDA. The warehouse of the biomass project containing animal feed, maize grains, and the animal feed crushing machines was still found open since the last visit in 2023. Other machines were housed and also in an old unsecured warehouse outside the project vicinity, posing the risk of machines being stolen. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, at the Mayenga Crocodile Farm in the Zambezi region, the committee observed a new erected fence that was constructed by the National Youth Service at a cost of 1.258.971.97 Namibian dollars in September 2024 to prevent damage from wild animals and vandalism from local peoples. However, the committee still observed that the abandon of the project, broken street light, damaged thatched roof, and then deteriorating incomplete buildings. Manyaha Crocodile Park in Zambezi. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, in Kavango West, the committee was informed on the new developments and improvements that came after the committee visit in 2023. The farm received consistent supply of diesel, catalytics, medication, 5,000 petty cash per month, and 2 brand new cars. The committee was informed that 98 to 99% of the cattle in the farm has been tagged. The committee observed that the farm only has 52 bulls for 4,001 cows. That is not a sufficient rate as per standard best practice of 1 bull per 25 cows. I don't know that one. That explanation is for the farmers. Honorable farmers, they might understand that 1 bull, if you have 1 bull, it can only take care of 25 cows. So if you have 4,001 cows divided divided the number or 25, it will give you a ratio of how many bulls supposed to be at that farm. At the current rate, those bulls are really too few. There is no way that those production can be a very good production, and you will never receive the number of cattle that you wanted, of cows that you wanted. In addition, the committee observed that the current structure of the farm in terms of human resources consists of a farm manager and assistant farm manager. This staffing norm does not allow proper management of the farm with approximately 223,000 hectares, 223,000 894 hectares, 220. This farm is bigger than Aminus, twice the size of Aminus. The committee observed that there are still no activities taking place at Gwerenguru Garment Factory since the committee visit in 2023. There are no plans to start operation at this project from MIT. Neither officials were not present during the visit to give information on the matter. Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members, in Oshana region, the Ondangwa Tannery project has not been operating for the past 11 years due to upgrades that were done halfway and stopped due to lack of funds. The committee still observed that there was no water and electricity at the site, which make it difficult for the caretaker to start and clean the machines from time to time to reduce the risk of machines being damaged. There are drums, there are drums that are still standing with water and skin height for the past how many years now? You know the tannery, you know those drums that is running, they are still standing there. It is getting water and some heights inside them, and for the past 3 to how many years, those drums are still standing there, and we think it might have been damaged by that now. And the recommendation of the committee was they should now, from time to time, open and start these drums so that one can see whether it is still operational since then. There are no developments since the last committee visit in 2020. Honorable Vice Chairperson, after the follow-up visit, the committee had a stakeholder engagement in Windu to discuss all issues affecting projects contained in the report. The resolutions of the engagement are attached on the report in Annexure A. Honorable Vice Chairperson, with those few remarks, may I now, through you, humbly ask the August House to discuss and adopt the report with recommendations contained in the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Kazungaminya. Any discussion on the report? I see the hand of Honorable Nambodi and Honorable Karondo in that order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Let me thank the committee for well-crafted reports. I just only having a minor concern here. Honorable Kazungaminya, you said there are some machinery on that project stolen. I just only wanted to know whether if that case has been reported to the police or what. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Nambodi. Honorable Karondo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson. I would have wanted to hear more on Nida Kavango West, I think, Mangeti Cattle Range. Maybe before I pose a question, I should indicate that what you got there is no longer there. If they are there, they might have declined either in number or so. Maybe from onset, I still appeal that if you happen to have some funds, you better go and do some visit again. The relationship between workers, the relationship with the TA has even gone sour as we speak. So please, the committee need to go and do a thorough visit again. Maybe on the issue of the carrying capacity, I think I did not hear about it as to how many cattle should this farm carry? And if so, how many in total do we have in the farm at the moment? I think that is something that I really would have wanted to get. So I so submit, Honorable Vice Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Karondo. Honorable Tebele and Honorable Shavionja in that order. Honorable Tebele.
Good morning, honorable members. Thank you. And let me also use this opportunity to welcome Honorable Hukura after the median speech. Honorable, on the recommendations, specifically 11.1, it reads that the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, the then Ministry of Trade and Industrialization, should reintegrate NIDA as one of the departments into its structure with immediate effect. Now, I wanted to know actually, was it already a process that passed, or is it something that they are recommending to happen? That's because the word reintegrated, to me, it sounds as if something has happened and they never did, and I wanted to know the reason why they didn't do it. I so submit it.
Thank you. Honorable Shavionja.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chair. Good morning also, Honorable Member. Good morning, my big brother that side. Mine, I think to do justice is that I did not go through the report at the level that I wanted, because seriously, this is a report that contains some of the challenges that we are facing on a daily basis as regional councillors, specifically when it comes to the SMEs that are operating from these institutions. Because of finance and everything, maybe you limited yourself to certain areas, but these problems are everywhere. Recently, I engaged some of the tenants at Omumbonde. Our Sinogahanja is called Omumbonde Park. And then the understanding is that problems are many here, especially not only that this NITA, whoever is in charge, is not honoring the account with the municipality. It goes beyond that, because even tenants or the SMEs that are operating from those places, if they operate for a very long time, in most cases, if it is not 6 months, it's a year. And then when I was reading, they are saying they are charging $20 per square meter. If I can interpret that, comparing to the $60 that is now apparently the market-related price. But the question still remains that most of these SMEs are struggling to pay rent. Another challenging issue is that this NITA that is then, maybe it's now the business arm that is then running, do you think, how they get people in and out, especially the SMEs. And I was also reading from one of your recommendations where you are saying there were discussion where some of them were then to be opted to be given, handed over to local authority. And then the local authority, to an extent, sometimes do not have the capacity. So I'm of the opinion that as a regional council, can we also not then be considered when it comes to some of this? Because at the end of the day, when there are problems, we are the ones that are dealing directly with some of these issues. And in fact, we are there to create employment for our people. And especially regional councils that are then operating from town, you find it really challenging. So when you can bring some of these structures maybe under our offices. Then we also, when we get the, whether it's a 5% from the municipality or whatever funds we are getting, then we can see how we can also empower some of these SMEs, because seriously, one is asking yourself whether maybe also we don't do proper physical feasibility studies, because you end up having 4 or 5 people operating more or less the same businesses. And then they have to compete with established institutions like supermarkets, and maybe that's why also they don't get the necessary support. But really, the report looked like it's a big report, but all in all, the problem that we are facing is that our people, as they are claiming they are there to empower SMEs, that is not what is happening on the ground. Our people are really concerned. And then to an extent, I don't know whether you also pick it up that if they are also not paying rent, their machineries and everything have been taken over by this NITA. Some of them, they have closed the whole business place with the machinery of that person, to an extent that at the end of the day, that person stopped operating. Maybe to some people, it has been like a small way of generating money. So I don't know, as you were also engaging those few that you went and visited, did you also experience that? But really, we are facing these problems on a daily basis. And maybe now that the ministry have also somehow changed their way of operation, I don't know whether I would recommend, if it is fit with the community responsible, that you also just re-engage the managers here in Windhoek, just to see how you can really panel beat some of these issues. That's my small submission, Vice Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Shavionja, Honorable Shini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, Honorable members. And thank you very much, Honorable Kadongominya, as the Chairperson of Public Accounting and Economy, with your team, for that you're coming up with this very important report to enlightening us on what is going on in some of the government's projects run by enterprises, companies. Honestly, the government is trying by all means. But us as human beings who are entrusted to supervise and implement everything necessary in all the government projects, it seems we are showing a conflict of interest in running those projects. And the higher officers in this government, if it doesn't open eyes on how to charge whoever tantamount to corruptions, the whole government, the whole country is going to fall. Because we cannot allow spending money in development projects within our countries, but those who are entrusted to supervise projects, they show their own personal conflict of interest, and they doesn't even want to prove their commitment in such kind of project. Just imagine a public account committee inviting whoever supervising this, is a manager or supervising, to come to appear before them to provide the information at hand, but they absent themselves. Whether they are saying they doesn't receive the invitations, whether they receive the invitation and they ignore, with a hope or with a trust that the government has nothing teeth to bite them at the end of the day. That's why here now I want to show my disappointment and to advise or to appeal to the public that in our countries we have an act which we call Whistleblower Act. The whistleblower, where you can report the case and you are being protected. We are whistleblower, yeah, thank you for corrections. And you are being protected, and your name is not going to be revealed at anywhere. In such a way, if we use that instrument of law, then we can also protect the corruptions in our own countries. Otherwise, you hear now what Honorable Karondo has said. What we have found there is now minimized. It does not mean it's increasing, but minimized, or it's already finished. Just imagine. And neither were invited to appear before the Committee of Public Account Committee. It doesn't come. Now here is the report again. It's minimized, or you will be no more find anything. Why can't the Anti-Corruption Committee or Commission cannot come in and provide us with information up to the present if it's necessary, so that we can protect all the government projects which we are initiated with the public servants, with the public taxpayer money, because we cannot allow come up with a development project in the countries, but at the end, the project is going to stop in unproducing a product in our own countries. It's a very shameful disappointment. I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shimi. Any further discussion on the report? I see none. Honorable Kamburude. Okay, if you are a member of the committee, then you will come in when you respond. Let me see whether there's any discussion from other members. Honorable Kennedy. Honorable Kennedy, can you share with us what you want to say? Oh. Honorable members, in the absence of any further discussion, does Honorable Kazogominya wish to reply? Then all other members of the committee can also come in. And for those who have more information, we have 17 recommendations of this report, which is a very, very big report. We have to participate. Honorable Kazongominya and the team, do you want to reply on what members have commented?
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chair. Before I say any other thing, I put the report forth. I wanted our members to come in, then I will just come and conclude. So I allow members to come in, all members of the committee. Thank you very much. You have heard the questions.
Members of the committee, any discussion, any comments? Honorable Kamrude and Honorable Dobbs.
Thank you, Honorable Vice Chairperson, honorable members. I really enjoy my work here. That's why most probably I was in too much of a hurry when I put up my hand in the first place. And this issue of NIDA is really working on my nerves. And I have just a short contribution. You know, one of the recommendations we said that NIDA should be brought back into the ministry or brought into the ministry. What we found is when we were having discussions with them at one stage in there, the answers that we got was of such nature that you could not make out whether they are coming or going, and if they are going, where they are going, or if they are coming, where they are coming from. To the effect that NIDA has never even submitted in the typical SOE tendency, no financial reports, no financial reports, no dividends declared, etc., etc., etc. And after we engaged them, they suddenly drew up a report from 2018 to 2024. Interestingly, they're saying that they've been making an income of $165 million, but then they come back and say no. But although we have made that income and our income has increased, we are actually running at a loss of $102 million. And what I said that day when we met, I said to NIDA, I want you to be disbanded. I want you to be closed down. And if you oppose that, why don't you just resign? Because you are driving a project that government is entrusting to you, driving into the ground. The same, and this problem is these NIDA issues is at every single. They've got 148 projects. Every single one of them is down the drain. We find things as per the report. We find things that we have spoken to them a year ago. We get there and it is exactly the same or even less. So I'm just making the small contribution to strengthen what we have recommended in our report. I am a firm believer that NIDA should be closed down, their board dissolved, their management retrenched, and the employees be brought into the ministry so that they operate as a directorate of the ministry. That is and I stand on that recommendation. I feel very strong about it because we cannot, $102 million. And now, lastly, we even found out in the newspapers, and somebody tipped me and said, listen, you must speak to Mr. Namunjebu, who is the general manager. Speak to him. Apparently, there is somebody who is in a government warehouse for 10 years without paying rent. 10 years. He owes NIDA apparently $7 million. Now, if you cannot manage the asset that government entrusts you with, please, you are doing the government and the people of Namibia a disfavor. That's just my short contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dobbs.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and also honorable members. I also want, as a member of the committee, to add on some of the observations and recommendations that we as a committee has made. Starting in the Taras is that the machines that we have with our first visit observed in the garment factory, with our second visit, some of the machines has been removed from the building to another building without the permission from NITA or the supervisors. So that is also within our recommendation that NITA must look into their inventory and how it comes that the person that was renting the building has to remove the machines from that building that it was supposed to be there to another building. Also at note, as the chairperson was also saying, we also recommend really the 5,000 pedicures is not enough, and we have recommended an amount that we believe the ministry and NITA has to adhere to, because that operation is very huge at that node project. So that is what we have also recommended. Coming to Manyenge, Crocodile Range, is that we were also questioning the amount that was paid for the fencing also. Yet they apparently want the same young people to be used in on Dangwa to fence off the sewer ponds. So you're also asking the estimate amount that is going to be used even at Ondangwa. Coming to the cattle ranch, Kavango cattle ranch. With our first visit, the amount that we were given, the total amount of the cattle that we were given was plus minus 11,000, plus minus. And then with our second visit, it was 8,000 plus. So we were also having that query, what happened. And then apparently the manager told us he was instructed to sell some of the cattle. So as Honorable Garonda is saying, if we are going back now, the situation will look maybe different. Also, the carrying capacity of the range, really, that range is very big. It can carry a lot of animal. And also, our recommendation was the bull to cow ratio. That was also a serious concern that we were having, because they were only having few bulls comparing to the cows that we are having, and the production thereof is very minimal. Garment factory at Ngurukuru also, the officials sometimes also, they were next door, there were some women that was doing the tailoring, etc. But the machines that were supposed to be used by these ladies or the community members in Ngurukuru was never introduced to the community. The staff members also said, no, we didn't get the information whether we will invite the community members to use the machine. So those machines are also gathering dust within that garment factory. Lastly, Ondangwa tannery, that is an issue and a half, because maybe when the chairperson was saying 2 to 3 years, it's more than 2 to 3 years that those machines are standing idling. New machines with heights inside, and then the last recommendation that we have recommend is just the town council to switch on for instance for a week the machine, so that the machines can run. They take out the heights and clean the machines so that the heights cannot stay for long in the machines. And also the sewer ponds, the fence has been removed, people vandalize, and now the government has to pump in again a lot of funds to renovate the ponds, etc. Ochiwarongo, Ochironjiba, the biomass, first time when we came, the machines were just packed. People, staff members didn't even know where the keys are and what is inside the containers. And with our last visit, something was happening. So some machines has been maybe installed and etc. So that is something after our report that something has happened at the biomass. So I thank you with that. So maybe the other members will add.
Thank you, Honorable Dobbs. Honorable Kazungominya, Honorable Chikulo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chair. I just want to add our team have added 5,000, which we are talking, the petty cash. As a committee, we come up with the recommendation that at least 100,000 is a better amount to recommend on that one. So, and other thing which maybe was not touched, when we visited the cattle range the first day, there was a company given a contract for charcoal, but those people were not reporting to the manager of the cattle range, and even the period which was given, you cannot believe it. But on our second on the it was maybe how many? I think it's up 30 years, approximately there. But when we go for the second time, that company is nowhere to be found. It's run away. It tells us that somebody is now this NIDA, which we are talking about. These people, they are not serious with this job. At Maneha, Angola, if you go there, there is a good structures, infrastructure built by government money. But if you go there now, in the shade, because we have the elephants are there. They are the one who, like now here, we are now in this building. In Maneha, is the elephant which is in. Yes. Yes. But it's a good infrastructure. But you cannot believe that this is a government money. And there's no follow-up. If you go there, things are learned from vendors. And it's not a serious thing. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So the machine in Kietmans, I think that Honorable Gobs had touched that one. And there was a question whether we Because our first recommendation is that those people must be, they have to put a case. Because the machine was it was in the government, but it was removed. So the person who is using that machine, now he's getting that money for his own, for her own interest. Okay. Yes, but neither just the things like that. It tells you that things is not in the good hand. If you are saying we are talking about neither. So I will end up there. Maybe my chairperson will end up. I just ended where I was. I wanted to add things, so I end up there on our chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Shikulo. Is there any member who want to add before I give to chairperson? I see none. Honorable Chairperson Kazumominya, you may now wrap up and also touch on the comments and questions of members who will intervene.
Thank you very much, my Honorable Vice Chairperson. Honorable Nambondi, your question or complaint was about the machines that my Honorable have also touched on. We found that there were machines in the factory when we went, and when we went for the second time, the one that have been rendering the place have moved from where he was operating at the NITA project offices, and then he have taken 5 machines and then an embroidery or whatever the big machines are, and he was now operating at a place of his own. And he have removed, and he was the one with the keys. As well, we went to NITA and say, you should put charges against this guy, because what permission does he have to move those machines? Because those machines are government machines, as well you will see on our recommendation, I think number 11 and number there, we have said these machines should have been tagged, and so that government knows how many machines were there with a special tagging and whatever, and then so that we can know. And then we wanted to know whether you take this guy on, report him to the police, because we want to know what gives him that permission to take government property that was entrusted with NITA and start using it on in his own capacity now, because he have now went out, ran a place, starting employing people there and starting doing whatever in embroidery work on her. That's why we talk about that case. And then NITA did not come back to us and say whether they have opened a case, what their investigation is all about, and how far they are on that issue. On the Mangeti cattle range, Honorable Dobbs and Honorable Karondo, we went there with 11,000. We came back. We went back with 8,000. Cattle are sold. And as well, we have recommended the petty case, man. For people are selling 500 cattle at an average of this amount is close to so million. And then when we went there, the farm manager was saying whatever money is NITA got from the sales, they don't get anything in return to run the farm. They only get the 5,000. The 5,000, the moment you start the car, it is even finished before you reach the last cattle post. How can you run that farm at the end? If a will best, if whatever happens, the people does not have money. Venduk must come in. Is why we recommended the 100,000 as a committee. Maybe they can really maximize on whatever because it's a farm that they need to visit the cattle post and you know the 200 and something hectares. It's a big area. But that is the situation on the ground, and that is why we have done everything we can. Honorable Shavionja, if you record the recommendation number 2, we have said these things are happening within jurisdictions of regional councils. And so for these people to know they should be also involved in whatever project NITA is coming up with. So that at the end of the day, when there is problems, they might be the people to rescue. Because when we went down as a committee to all these regions, the first things we do is a courtesy call to the governor, and then we took along the chairperson or the councillor that is within that jurisdiction for him to know what is on the ground. It's very important that point of yours is very important, and we have also made emphasis on it that even when we talk of the Tom A project with the Kitmaswap municipality, we went as far as sitting with the municipality, wanting to know what did transpire between you and NITA, so that these people are not paying, so that we can talk about the issue of the prepaid water and all. We also in Oshuarongo, on the biomass project, we went to the municipality of Oshuarongo. We invited them even to Windhoek. Even the municipality of Oshuarongo was in Windhoek. The municipality of Kitmaswap was in Windhoek. Trying to see to it, what is it that we can do, because we cannot solve that issue without having the local authorities and the regional councils on board, because they will be the people to know what is best to be done, because the non-payment is an issue all over. NITA is not paying, the water is cut off. People in Grootfontein, they have already, some of them have bought their own prepaid water meters. Unfortunately, the meters that they have bought and the meters that the municipality think they can use are not the same. So now we have requested, even in Kitmaswap and Grootfontein and Oshuarongo, government, the MIT, to buy the water meters according to the prescription of the municipality, because the municipality say, we cannot come and buy water meters again if you are even not paying our bills. How can we go and spend money in you again? So we say municipal MIT buy the meters with your and then deduct from whatever you are giving NITA, and then you deduct the amount of the water meters, so that these water meters can be installed, because some of the people does not owe anything, but they cannot operate, they don't have water, because some of them, NITA does not pay its accounts with the municipalities, and it is really giving the tenants at all these other parks huge problems. So, and lastly, Honorable Tebele, we have went through all these things. We thought the only option left is when NITA can be reintegrated back into the ministry, and then the ministry take full responsibility of what is going on. We have the 100 and how many parks and whatever. Note, it's a very big, great project. Note is competing with Ocean Care and any other body. The capacity of the people that work at Note is one of the best. If you sit and sit with the farm manager, the experience and the desire and and whatever they wanted to do everything to compete at that market, but they cannot do it. They are not financially capacitated to do so. Note is marketing their grapes through a third party. Someone in South Africa is marketing Naute's grapes. And these people that are sitting at Naute does not know at what price, at what is this grape going for. And they are the ones doing the job. At the end, whatever is they get from the hard work, they are not aware of. They don't have a bank account where they are signing. Money is coming in from the head office, and they are just spoon-fed. That is the situation, the seriousness of these things. And as my Honorable Chief Whip have said, I also thank him very much and all the others that have contributed. This is something, and I always tell the committee members, this is something that we should not go and play with and campaign with, and because if we can get it right with NITA, then we can get it right with all the other projects. So it's something, a collaborative, we need as a committee, a collaborative effort to see to it. All these projects that NITA is running, how best can we consolidate them, bring it to the attention of government, and see what best can be the solution. And as well, the committee have proposed, can we reintegrate it to the ministry? Maybe there will be better money, and we will see how best we can go forward with it. And with that response, I thank you very much, my Honorable Vice Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, and thank you once again to the committee for a well-drafted report. Honorable members, what we witnessed here today is, I'm even struggling to find the word. So my apologies, I rise to perhaps recommend to the committee to consider setting timelines for responses with these recommendations. And strict timelines to say 30 days, 60 days, we want to know what is the way forward. Because honestly, honorable members, I'm struggling to find the words. Honorable Vice, that's really my recommendation to say, in most cases when we give recommendations to ministries, we leave it like an open field to say this is our recommendation. For this one, I would want to stress that you please perhaps suggest a strict timeline and report back to the House to see how far we are. Thank you very much.
Apology. Let me repeat for recording. I said, Honorable Muteka, thank you, because this is an addition on the recommendation. I said the committee have 17 recommendations on this report. Shows the very serious of this report. And also, we are talking about the plight of the citizens, that is the communities. They have to start also benefiting from what we are doing. Now, I want to quote a slogan, which is a nice slogan from our current president. I quote, "We are too few to be poor," end of the quote. Meaning, whatever we try to do, let's see whether we are too many to be poor or we are too few to be poor. If we don't work from all angles of whoever can make our citizens to live in a nice world, that is up to us. Honorable members, I'm not entitled to make that recommendation, but I just felt as a presiding officer to guide this report for us to take it serious with the ministry. With that, honorable members, we have come to our time. Before I announce, Honorable Shimi.
Honorable Vice Chairperson, the recommendation from my Deputy Chief is here. We need this feedback in the next session again. We want to show a they're very serious on this and the commitment on the Public Account Committee. We are trusted this committee and we want the leader to prove to us that they give us feedback through the Public Account Committee. We are the governing people, and we are the one who to control whom we supervise or whom we trust to manage the project on behalf of the government. So we want that commitment, feedback on next session to make sure that NIDA commit to the Public Account Committee and provide everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable members.
Just a small thing. They were right. It's why we wanted to table this report now, because if the report is not tabled in the House, then we cannot engage people on this report. So we wanted it to be tabled now because in our activity calendar, we have to go back again to the ministry and meter to see to it how far are we now with all these other things. And then we will see even them as also stakeholders, who can we also add to the discussion, because it is an open discussion because we wanted, but first we have to table the report. But if it is approved here, then we can now engage people because on the report. Without tabling the report, we wouldn't have done anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. We just said all the amendment to the recommendation is taken care of. With that, I now put the question that the report be adopted. Any objection? We agree to. Thank you. With that, the report is adopted. Now, with that, honorable members, we break for tea and we come back at the 11:05. So the House again for break.
Finally, I want to comment possibly the Minister of Education for setting aside 35 million to build sports stadium in all 14 regions, which it will accommodate 10,000 people, because this sport field will have 10,000 seats that will accommodate those people. Therefore, the youth, they will show cases of their talents by using this sport once they are completed.
There is a vote coming on that part of sport youth. Maybe for now, can we then see how we can really amplify it on education?
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson, for guiding me. Therefore, I just want to say that interview must stop. The people should attend the interview, should the people that just go for promotion. But if they enter reports for the teaching, the ministry should provide the mechanism just to praise teachers according to their qualification or field of study. I so submit, I support the vote.
Thank you. Honorable Mavara.
Oh, no. Well, thank you very much. Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the whole Council, Honorable Member, I rise to make a contribution on the table of the vote 40 for the Minister of Education, which has been allocated amount of 24,827,330,000 Namibian dollars. So let me begin by congratulating Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah for having been elected by the Namibian people as the first female president of the Republic of Namibia. I also being experienced within the Namibian system in general, and then to Kavango region in particular, as a contribution to this vote on behalf of the children of the Kavango region and by the complication on behalf of all Namibian children. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, our education system is facing with the following challenges. Number one, lack of education facilities such as classrooms. We are still sitting with overcrowded classrooms in some schools in the two Kavango regions. For example, most, if not all, in the Rundu circuit are full more than their carrying capacity, particularly in the areas like Ndama, Kehemu, Sauyema, Kaisosi, and some growth points such as Mabuse, Ndiona, and Divundu. Our school lack of necessary facilities such as laboratories, proper functional libraries, and lack of internet connections. Many schools in the two regions, in particular in some other part of the country in general, also lack of basic ablution facilities. I should indicate that some schools do not have water. The other challenge being experienced is lack of teachers' houses. Honorable Chairperson, there are incomplete teachers' houses constructed at the schools more than 10 years ago. These houses are just standing there. They are found at schools like Mutinduko Primary School and Diana Combined School in Mukwe Constituency and Yesu Kasivi Combined School in Kavango West. I also know that these incomplete houses are also found in other regions. Can the ministry explain what they intend to do with these incomplete houses? The situation forces teachers either to commute from town and put up their shacks in schools. Isn't that fact? Most of our schools these days look like informal settlements. There are shacks all over. Honorable Chairperson, I have also observed that almost schools are experiencing shortage of furniture for both teachers and learners. In some schools, learners are sitting on the floor, whereas other schools, learners are writing on their lips. Finally, the situation at the underutilized schools or uneconomical schools in the England is very disturbing. Honorable Chairperson, these schools do not have anything all. There are no classroom, no ablution facilities. Learners are taught to either traditional heads or under the trees. Further teachers at the schools complete for their nearby bushes when nature calls. How expect our children to learn in this kind of condition? I thank you.
Thank you. We just give him the extra minutes because since we started, he was just contributing today. And we are seriously on a serious issue on education. Thank you, Honorable Mavara. Can we then move to Honorable Katura?
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council. Honorable members, I'll be short and brief because many points have been raised by the former Honorable members, specific Honorable Mavara. I will just go dwell with more than 2 points. Apart from I don't want to leave out one point. First of all is to congratulate the former executive director, who is now the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport, Arts and Culture. I hope she will do very much now because she knows the setup of education in general. Number two, as a member of the Committee of Education, we went to different various schools in 2022 about the performance of grade 11 and 12 poor, grade 11 and 12 results. I can now see and report proudly that 2023-2024 grade 11 and 12 results, Kavango West did the best, number 1 and 2 respectively. I hope the director of Kavango West deserves to be recognized as one of the best leader in terms of education. With that, really, I want the other regions to follow as Kavango West, because we know that Kavango West, as we know that is a region without resources, a region which the people say is the latest new region, but they could acquire the best result. Apart from that, Honorable Vice Chairperson, let me also not leave out the adequate and appropriate infrastructure, which is very important. Classrooms is a bedrock in Namibia. We need really classrooms. Without classrooms, learners will not be taught. Because without classroom is where Namibian government go and introduce policies such as uneconomical schools. There is nothing like uneconomical schools. I want a definition what is an uneconomical school, because it's a matter of maybe it's less than 100 learners. But from the staffing norms, we know that the first teacher at a school is a principal. And therefore,
I would like to say that we have to look at this one so that if you look at in Kavango West, we have many small schools, and these learners are walking long distance. Then it's required to have a hostel. We need to build, the government need to build for us a hostel so that these remote learners have to be accommodated in the hostel. So far, we don't have in a single hostel there. And the other point which I want to bring is the salary structures of teachers. Teachers are being paid, or they are put on level 8, while level 7 is empty, and the HOD is on level 6 and the principal on level 5. I think everybody's a teacher. We needed to lift the standard of teachers in terms of salary, whether they come on level 7 or the others go down to level 6 and 5, respectively. Because I wish that this is a motivation for teachers if they will be accorded that when the salary structure will be revised. And then school calendar, most of the, now we are using the term calendar, which is semester. I hope next year, from now on, we'll go to the 3 terms, because we have to consider May as a month with many holidays. Schools attendance being interrupted. We wish that this month will be regarded as a month for during holiday. And with that, Honorable Vice Chairperson, I support the vote and I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Old Council, honorable members. I rise to make a small contribution towards the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture. Let me start by saying the following. 55 million. I went through the motivation speech of the minister. 55 million is allocated for the construction of infrastructure at UNAM, and 50 million for NAS. That money is not enough. Currently, that money is not enough. Currently, this year 2025, we're struggling with kids at NAS in UNAM with accommodation. Please, I'm even proposing, I was proposing to UNAM and NAS, why can't they give preference to learners or students from the regions instead of giving preference to people in Windhoek? That is not good. It must be looked into. Then you are talking about, she is talking about 5 million for the establishment of agriculture campus in Ochichon-Juba region. So, what are you doing? We have a fully fledged college infrastructure at Humes. The classes are already there. Offices are there. Housing for the staff is there. Laboratories are there. Livestock to train the people on the practicals is there. There are ostriches, there are piggeries, there are goats, the boar goat and the Kalari red is there. Sheep, Panduan Damara. What do you want? Please, and there's nothing in the south of this level of campus, called campus in the south, in Hartap. There's no such a thing. Why not shift that campus to Tumes? This is a humble request to the Sobo government. Languages. Our language, what they call Khoekhoegowab, which is not the correct name for me. Khoekhoegowab, I'll use so you can understand. Khoekhoegowab must be teach from grade 0 until university level, without any interruption. All the languages must get equal treatment. All the languages must be taught from 0 to the university level. There's a thing in the international law. There's a saying in the international rule. Indigenous minority groups must also be protected by a government or by a regime. So we are the minorities, we must also be protected. Hostels in the constituency, Tribune, to call it place, this is a place of the late Hendrik Wetko. There's a school, there are 2 schools without hostels. Please send a delegation, investigation team to do the investigations. The structures are already there. It's just a renovation. Then there can be hostels. That is possible. Please, I'm requesting the president to send a team to review so that the hostel can be renovated and opened. Lastly, the system of divide and rule of this government must stop to the minority, against the minority groups. There's a provision for the protection of minority ethnic groups in the international law. And you have signed these treaties. So I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Hukura.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chair of the House.
Honorable members, can we then give Honorable Hukura a chance to contribute?
Thank you, First Vice Chair of the Committee of the House. Honorable members, good afternoon. The members, I rise to highlight some of the challenges faced in the education sector in the region of Chodenshupa. And I will start by saying there's an inadequate provision of teaching and learning infrastructure. There's a serious shortage of schools and classrooms, particularly in the urban centers of the region due to rapid urbanization. This has resulted in several challenges. And of course, the conversion of primary schools into combined schools. This practice has led to several negative outcomes. Teaching and learning are compromised as facilities originally built for primary learners are now used by secondary learners. The accommodation of senior secondary learners, grade 11 and 12, with junior grade 1 to 3 in schools undermines the moral and developmental well-being of the young learners. Ablution and sewage systems are under strain, often resulting in blockage. Kitchen facilities are inadequate or worn out, forcing food preparation to occur outdoors under unhygienic conditions. Overpopulation at Okakarara Primary School. Learners' numbers exceed the school's capacity. Some classes are held in unused technical classrooms at the nearby secondary school, requiring the principal to manage teaching across an 800-meter distance. Overcrowding in Okahanja, Ochiwarongo, and Grootfontein. Secondary classes exceed the recommended 30 learners per class ratio, now ranging from 40 to 50 learners.
platoon system introduced in primary school has the following negative effects. Afternoon learners come to school tired from playing the whole morning. The teaching time available in the afternoon is not sufficient to cover all the period required to be taught per day by National Curriculum for Basic Education. Aging infrastructure. Most schools and hostels hostel buildings are old and not designed for current learner numbers. Example affected schools include the Ocherondu Primary School, Okonjatu Combined School, KJ Kapewa Combined School, Okamatapati Combined School, and Copeland's Combined School. At Eightcombs Primary School, classrooms are substandard and platoon systems are used due to inadequate space. Despite efforts by the ministry to construct new classrooms, the maintenance of existing infrastructure and facilities remain grossly underfunded. The renovation and maintenance budget allocated to the region on a yearly basis is insufficient to fully renovate even infrastructure and maintain facilities of one school. I therefore recommend the following. To address the challenges highlighted above, the following actions are recommended. To separate combined schools, build additional schools in Okanjira, Konjatu, Kamatapati, to separate primary and secondary schools for better learning and child development environments. To expand schools infrastructure in Okakarara, construct a new school in and around Okakarara, such as in Otumborombonga, to ease the burden on the Okakarara Primary School. So in conclusion, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the House, I so submit. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Nambondi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council, honorable members. Much has been said, but I remain with 2 points here. That's why I just only wanted to dwell with that 2 points. Let me also partake on vote 20, vote 40, which is education. Namibia Constitution, Article 20, stipulated clearly that the children of the school-going age should attend school, but in some towns, there are children under the age of 16 busy doing business, selling sweets, stick, maruko, nondibo, and the other item on the street during school hours. I don't know if relevant authorities have not observed this practice, or whether it's to a negligence on their parts. Something needs to be done immediately because they may influence others and they can lead others to drop school and partake on business by hustling at the small age. They are hustling with at their small age, and they are playing with their future. Labor practice is not allowed both by constitutionally, national or international, the underage to do business. Honorable Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council, honorable member, let all stakeholders to do their part, be it the Namibian police or a community at large, to curb the evil of child labor, and let those people send this poor child to sell their items to be punishable by the law. The other issue I wanted to tackle is that the issue of interview of unemployed teacher is a serious concern
Poor unemployed teacher used to be traveling distance and it's too costly either by transport or accommodation. Why can't the Ministry of Education let allow unemployed teacher to assist the teacher at nearby school or to assist the teachers nearby to their school or to the school of his or her choice to either mark a test or setting classwork or homework, and the ministry give them a token of appreciation each month until they get permanent post. With this input, I still submit and I support the bill. Thank you so much.
You are supporting the vote. Thank you. Honorable Abraham.
Thank you very much, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council. I rise to join the honorable members on the vote under discussion of 40. And then to me, first of all, I want to thank our head of state for her appointment of the experienced person as a Minister of Education. She was a teacher, a head of department, a school principal, a director of education, and then executive director, and now is a Minister of Education. We feel proud of such a Namibian, Honorable Stenka. And then I want to appeal to the Honorable Minister, look on the following. Education currently now is a task of the government from grade 0 up to tertiary education. The government is the custodian of the education. Most of the Namibians are rescued of a huge task of paying schools, paying university, and so on. But we are still with a challenge. Number one, classrooms. Shortage of classrooms in our country and the overcrowding classrooms. In Namibia, across the board, Namibian child is still taught in or teaching and learning taking place in the shops, countrywide. In the region where I'm coming from, 6 schools still need classroom, in the need of classroom. In my constituency, Mamanya Primary School, grade 6 and grade 7, still taught in the shacks infrastructure. And then such a classroom need to be addressed as soon as possible. Number 2 is a textbook. The textbook, still we are not rich. The policy of the textbook, which means that one learner, one textbook, and they cannot reach them. That's why to me now I advise the minister so that Namibians can get out of textbook and digitalize education. So that maybe each and every school provide with a quality and a fast network, internet, and again, computers. Because those are producing textbook. Maybe you find in grade 4 social study, there is 4 textbooks. When the government procures these types of textbook, the teacher tomorrow asks the other textbook. But if you are digitalize everything, then the teachers can just download the textbook and download the topic you want in a specific textbook. Because teachers follow the syllabus, not the textbook. Always there is a syllabus and a textbook. Then, to us as a teacher, we know everything. That teachers have followed the syllabus, not the textbook. That's why you can find 4 or 5 or 6 textbooks in one subject, which means that they have the same topic, but the way you articulate it in such a textbook is not the same. Number 2, yes, it's a rooted area that the government now paid or they have a responsibility of the education from grade 0 up to university. Yes, the university to us in our country, we have a public tertiary education and the private tertiary education. But all our learners who are schooling on such a, 2 types of tertiary education are taken care by the government equally. And the parents are assisted equally also. That all of them, their tuition fee and the other related fee of education in a university level are paid by the government. But when it comes to the primary school,
The government assists the primary school, especially the public school, with universal primary school grants or either universal secondary school grants and pay the teacher. But when you go to the parents who is having their children schooling at a private school, they are not assisted. Only those who are schooling in a private school run by the churches, but only some churches also. I appeal to the Minister of Education, currently now, Honorable Stenkamp, to look on such an issue, that private school is a partner in education, is a stakeholder in education. Private school employed unemployed teachers and reducing the overcrowded of learners in the classroom. That's why the parents who opt to register their kids or their child in a private school, also they need to be assisted so that such a huge payment on their shoulder will be reduced by the government as the custodians of the education in our country. So with that, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the whole House, our education in a good hand. In a good hand, in the hand of Honorable Stenkamp. Thank you very much, so I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Debele.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council, stroke the whole House of Review. Let me also congratulate Honorable Steenkamp for her appointment with her deputy. Yes, we really get it, the work done through the horses that knows it all, how the Scotch cat moves. But it is so certain, especially when it comes to the recruitment in position, especially for the entry levels. Looking at the cleaners, the laborers, handymen at this specific sites of school. It is so disheartening, really, or hurt, when a school is in corridor 17 and there are people that have been voluntarily at that specific school for 10 years, and really you employ someone from Grootfontein. It's really, to me, I think the minister should start looking at these things. It's not good at all. As much as we are talking about really that we need to integrate all Namibians, that in certain instances, if there was no volunteers, to me it was now understandable. But really, you open up, these people are in a remote area, there's no even access to medias and so on, and these things are just advertised on the medias there. And they didn't get that chance of applying, and all of the sudden, you just found people employed there. Because now there's a school in Corridor 17 where there's really a lot of noise now currently for this past 3 months. Because these people doesn't want to accept what has transpired. And then lastly, honorable members, I don't know how does this come. NASFAM, a student applies in 2 different institutions and is accepted in both institutions, but register in 1 institution. But NASFAM pays money to another institution where this child is not, or that learner is not even what? Did not register. So there is now a scenario of Frankfurt and UNAM where apparently a student applied and apparently signed contracts with Tramford. But this student is at UNAM. And now when open his inquiry to all of these endeavors, he is informed or she is informed to go and negotiate with Tramford to transfer the money. How on earth is that now the problem of the student? And with this last minute, Honorable First Vice Chairperson, allow me just to share with my lenient new comrade into this house that when you see is yellow, it means you have to wrap up. Honorable Hukura, please. I so submit, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Can we then take the list first? Honorable Jambula, Honorable Mutinga, Honorable Isaac, Honorable Lukaesi. I think Honorable Isaac, I will then give you the last because there were people who did not. So can we then go to Lukaesi? And then who else want to contribute? I think I'm brought a name we took. Huh? Honorable Richard, you also want to contribute? Okay. Can we then go in that order?
Can we comment? First Vice.
Go ahead,
First
Honorable.
Chairperson, sorry. Sorry, yeah. Who the committee of the whole House. In the first place, let me thank the new appointed Minister of Education. And I hope the ministry is. Furthermore, Chair will be very, very brief. Mine is just an appeal. I'm just appealing to the Minister of Education to consider to establish a full-fledged secondary school in Orkonda constituency at Ontananga Center in Oshkoto region. Because Orkonda is having about 16 primary schools, and as a result, our children each year are begging for accommodation from one school to another. And the other concern is the distance. These children are going from Orkonda to other regions, paying around hundreds of dollars in order for them to go to look for the accommodation. I'm therefore calling on the ministry to consider this very seriously, so that our learners can also be having a secondary school in the constituency. With this very, very few remarks or appeal, I support the vote.
Thank you. Honorable Mutinga.
Thank you very much. First Vice Chairperson of the whole Committee Council for granted me that sort of time. I want also to appeal. I do hereby want appeal to the Minister of Education to undertake visit to the whole Hartap and Karas region in terms of accommodation of teachers, hostels, regarding uplifting blocks, doors, so that they can also go and see what aspire, in which conditions the teachers are staying. And I appeal also that in the case of remote areas, these online applications for the entrance level have to be changed. They have no newspaper, no nothing, How do these people in that this income level? It's serious what I'm saying. The uplifting blocks, the rooms, the houses, it's devastated. That the minister has to send out a team to the heart of. I have visited Kainagas and Besaba constituency. Go and see in which harsh condition teachers are staying. In Maldives, I have senior secondary school. No uplifting blocks are working. No one. So my appeal is that the minister has to look after these things, undertake a team to visit the whole Hatap and Karas region. So I support. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Gambrute.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council. I would just like to deal with two issues regarding education whilst supporting the vote. The first one deals with mother tongue education, and the second one is dealing with TVET. Now, mother tongue education is done from grade 0 up to grade 3, and sometimes even further than that. But then teaching in English is started. You see, mother tongue is taught at home. I am born into a language. Every one of us has been born into a language. And it is better to learn my language at home. Now, our mother tongue policy or language policy recognizes 14 official education languages. How confusing can that be? The international world out there is not interested in Nukoigowap, is not interested in Oshivambo, is not interested in Afrikaans, is not interested in Rukwangali. The international world revolves around English. Business and economics is run in English. Would it not be better if we take our children from grade 0 through the language that is internationally used? I always believe, up till today, speaking English doesn't make you intelligent, but at least it opens doors for you internationally, which speaking good Afrikaans does not do. Speaking good Nukoiwap does not do. Speaking good Oshivambo does not do. All right? So, the problem also that we have with mother tongue language is sometimes teachers that cannot speak a specific language that well are appointed to teach kids in their mother tongue, or is appointed as the department head of that specific language. So I am lobbying for the total cancellation of teaching of the mother tongue or teaching children in mother tongue from grade 0 to 3. I teach my children Afrikaans, or I taught them Afrikaans. I speak with them Afrikaans at home because it's my mother tongue. Let the school teach them English, the language that he needs then. The second thing that I would like to address is the issue of TVET. I think TVET is a very, very good thing. But I would really love to see that our education ministry considers bringing back the old system of technical schools, specifically technical schools, because it's not all of us that's academically inclined. Some of us, we must work with our hands in order to earn a living. But would it not be good if at a specific grade, most probably say grade 8, we start with a technical line and academical line, that we split the two lines. Sometimes children think that a child that's not good in mathematics is stupid or dumb. It's not true. Sometimes they think a child who's not good in science is stupid or dumb. That's not true. Can that child that's good with mechanics, can he not in school be taught mechanics up till grade 12? And the other one in science or mathematics up till grade 12. I would really appreciate if our ministry could look into that. In conclusion, I would really love to congratulate the Honorable Minister Sanet Steenkamp on her appointment as Minister of Education 2 years back in this chamber through the chairperson. I lobbied and she was sitting over there and I said, I want 2 schools. Let me just finish. In conclusion, I want 2 schools, one for Rehoboth Urban East Constituency, a high school, and for Rehoboth Urban West Constituency, a primary school. And thank you so very much, Minister. You have seen to it that the schools are built. I so submit and I support the vote.
Thank you. Honorable Lugaisi.
Thank you very much, Honorable First Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole Council, honorable members. I rise to make my contribution to this very, very important vote. Vote 40 for education, with an amount of 24,827,230,000. First and foremost, let me congratulate His Excellency, Her Excellency, for introducing free education and also for appointing the most able ED, our former ED, to lead as a Honorable Minister of Education. Due to time, I'll just congratulate or appreciate some few developments that the Minister of Education have done before I come to challenges. With development partners like MTC, the Embassy of China, the Embassy of Japan, we have really achieved a lot. For example, we have 2 hostels completed in Zambezi, which is Liselo and the Masokotwani by the Chinese embassy. And again, we are happy now to say all these hostels are ready and the advert is there to recruit employees to serve those hostels, the 2 of them. And we have also completed some of the hostels. Time is not with us. And other one, we have also congratulate or appreciate to our development partners like the Embassy of USA, who is assisting us with the school phase of Sibinda combined, but the amount was not enough due to the escalation of prices. Therefore, we are struggling and looking for someone to complete it. This school fence is not complete, and the money is finished, and the community is struggling. So, a lot have been done. Procurement of mattresses. So, therefore, the challenges. Let me come to the challenges due to time. We have a lot of challenges. Despite those have happened, so we have a lot of challenges. One of it is accommodation of learners at Kosinyana Senior Secondary School. As we speak now, community have started donating funds. We have a hostel which was constructed in 1990. It's old, before independence. I think it was inaugurated just immediately after independence, with the capacity of 108 learners, while the school accommodates close to 600. And this school is a rural school. Currently, the community are donating funds to construct a community hostel. While there is a hostel inside, it's not really functional. Therefore, call the ministry as a matter of urgency to look to it that that community hostel need to, if it's done, is a hostel, a proper hostel have to be extended, or the hostel which is there need to be extended from this budget, so that these learners who are coming there at least have to be all accommodated since they are young, at a very early age. Therefore, for them being renting, and as others said, we don't know whether this fund will also assist in accommodation because they are renting in darkness. So I'm appealing for the hostel to be extended rather than constructing a community hostel. The other one is, we saw at Mazoba, there was a clip which was circulating showing small kids constructing a class or renovating a class with mud. Most of us saw it. It's within my constituency. Therefore, I'm appealing to the ministry to make sure that they go and look everywhere where there is this poor structures which is not suitable for classes, that it's renovated. The other one is the supplying of tents. Where there is no classes, at least we are requesting for tents, especially in my constituency. People have requested me that Savelo, Kisako, there is no class at all. They need a tent, but there's no tent. Maybe if the ministry could also make a provision of the tent while we are still looking for a longer term. With these few words, I so submit. I thank you. I support the vote.
Thank you, Honorable Richard.
First, Vice Chairperson, honorable members, mine is very brief. Thank you for the opportunity. In this house, since I came in, I preached about the archives, to build a second archive for Namibia. And I always advocate for the government to build a second archive, either in the south or in the north. Because, you know, our archive is so very important. That is why I was saying 2 years ago, first of all, Ministry of Education, buy the land. The next year, start to build a wall. And the third year, at least start to set up the whole building. By now, we could have had a second archives. Because most of us does not understand why our archive is very important. But the archive is very important. And currently, our archive that we are having in Benduk is so occupied, full to capacity, that they do not know where to file some of the important files. Even you, honorable members who are sitting here, you can make use of the archives. But if we do not have a second archive, where are we going to file our important documents? And currently, you know, in South Africa, or was it in Kenya, the archive went down, and there was no history, nothing that was left almost. But we have a second one. We could have preserved some of the important documents to the second archive. Therefore, I'm appealing to the minister again, just to build a second archive somewhere in Namibia. That's my first appeal. The second appeal that I want to say is that I'm always advocating that Africans must start to talk their mother tongue. You have seen that Donald Trump, when he was calling people, he called only the whites to America. He did not call any African country. But they are the ones who have created so many wars in Africa. But they did not call one African country to bring Africans to America so that they can become refugees. So therefore, I don't agree that kids must be taught and say English is the superior language. I refuse. At least we must start to teach our children Swahili, so that Africans must start to talk African languages, so that we can communicate in African languages. I so submit and I support the vote. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Council, Honorable members. I was waiting that somebody will talk about NASFA. It is not coming out. That's why I request for a second chance. NASFA, the good thing now is that will happen next year, that the education will be free from primary up to university. But nobody's talking about the current year, 2025. We have enrolled students at the various institutions already. The Regional Council of Hardap, we only paid for the registration fees for these students. We will pay the rest of these students' expenses for the remaining year. And as a result of that, our kids will drop out by June after the first semester. That is not addressed by nobody else. We need that these kids must be looked into and be assisted by the current government, by the current ministry. And there's no provision for that. I went through this motivational speech. There's no provision to assist the kids for 2025. We will assist them now. The other thing is I'm still of NASFA. We in the south, Adam Grass, we are very happy now for the decision taken for next year, free education. You don't understand us. You are saying, always you are saying, your kids are not qualifying for that position. We have never benefited from the NASFA for the past 35 years. That is the reason. The people cannot go on studying. We have no means to pay for the tuition fees, and the accommodations and transports and meals and so on for the kids. That was the reason. So we were left behind for 35 years. That is the truth. You can go and investigate it. So we are very happy for that move. But I will never support this vote because it is not addressing the plight of the kids learners now. It's not addressing. So they will drop out now. So I submit. Thank you, First Vice Chairperson, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Hukura. You are also not done.
Thank you, Honorable First Vice Chairperson of the Committee of the Whole House. I just want to conclude on my recommendations. I wanted to, it's on. The construction of a secondary school in Fairfront in Okahanja to relieve the learners from the burden of daily 12 to 14 kilometers travel or commuting between the schools and home. Another one is to secure land in Osona village. The ministry to engage landowners of Osona village for the donation of land to build a primary and a secondary school for the local community, whose children currently are now commuting from Osona to Windhoek and back. And prioritize sound community education. The ministry must demonstrate commitment to the marginalized group by building at least 6 classrooms at the administration block for 8 Combs Primary School. And the last one, increase renovation and maintenance budget allocated to the regions. Allocate more funds for renovations and maintenance to ensure infrastructure expansion efforts are not compromised by the neglect of the existing ones. So I submit. Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members.
Thank you. Honorable Members, we have passed our lunch hour. Maybe what I need to do is find out is there any other further discussion on this issue, on this vote? So, any objection? I see none. Agreed to. So then we'll break for lunch. 10 minutes past 1. Can we then agree that we'll resume at 10 minutes past 2? By a show of hand, are we in agreement? So the House is adjourned until 10 minutes past 2.